Please, God, use my voice to speak to my brothers and sisters with exactly what they need to hear so that they can be their best. Thank you, brothers and sisters, and magnificent Monday to you. We're getting the week started off right, nice and early. I figured I'd send you guys a message, a transmission from the ether. I do this so that you can be your best, and by helping you be your best, I'm helping myself be my best and helping our community be our best, and that's why it's so important that all of us are our best. So in that spirit, I want to share with you one of the most important aspects of our self-empowerment processing. I'm just going to put it like this. Somebody who is maximally evolved in their evolution can manifest on demand. They just put their hand out and they're like, boom, $1 million, boom, kilo of gold, boom, health for you, boom. But we can't necessarily force health on somebody else, because if they're sick because they're choosing sick things. And if we make them healthy, then they just continue doing their unhealthy things, and that screws up the feedback loop. So that's why through talking and this type of stuff, we can help, well, maybe I'm assisting you to reconfigure values. And that's where this manifestation system exists. It's within our own personal values, because it's our values that we use to judge and gauge and weigh our decision-making process. And well, it's all fun and good to boom, manifest a kilo of gold in my hand like that. It's probably going to be better for me and my environment to have to go out and work, in a sense, to cultivate that gold kilo, and then conversations are made, connections are had, laughs are had, and oh, that wasn't that great. And there's also some type of extra juice to some little struggle, or at least at least some type of turbulence to endure, and then boom, and then the fruits are there, If we just eat fruits 24/7, then we just get bored of them, plain and simple. And I'm going to put that to the test this year, let me tell you. I'm going to be eating a lot of figs. Figs are my favorite. And I'm going to see if I can get fig sick this summer, no doubt about that. But back to the manifesting and the values. That's what I want to tell you guys about, is our internal values. And before I tell you the real gems, I'm going to give you an example of a way that I assist people in uncovering ultimate gems, because I'm going to give you gems for each one of you individually, but on a humanity level, I ask people, what's your favorite star? And they look way up, they're trying to think, oh, stars, I don't really know too much about stars. It's the sun. It has to be the sun. And so sometimes they say, oh, I like the North Star. And I'm like, well, that's great. I was named after the North Star. So while I like the answer, it's got to be the sun, because it gives to you the most. Out of all the stars in the universe, if the sun isn't your favorite, you've got perverted values. Plain and simple. So just go into your mind, see where you're seeing your favorite star. If it's anywhere else, say thank you for, whatever you've done and supplied me with so far, and switch that appreciation to the sun in our local solar system. And then in that same mind, I say, well, what's your favorite planet? And believe it or not, right after having that conversation about the stars, they'll say, well, I don't know, I guess Jupiter is pretty cool. It's real big. And I'm like, yo, it's the Earth. The Earth has to be your favorite. And you know what? The sun doesn't have to be your favorite star. The Earth doesn't have to be your favorite planet. But if these aren't your favorite, then your energy is not going to align properly to empower you in the solar system that you live in and on the planet that you live in. So with that, that's a huge wash over all of humanity. everybody that's living here, it's got to be the sun, got to be the planet. But for you personally, individually, the most important values, all of your values that you know are held within how you think about your mother and how you think about your father. Plain and simple. And already I can feel the security features going off in most of you. Oh, I don't have any issues with my mother or father, or, oh, I've forgiven them. Well, let's go through the 3 degrees of perception. There's hatred or resentment or that type of, you look at your mother in your spiritual eye or your father in your spiritual eye, and you don't see them as the brilliant god and goddess as they are. So that's the resentment. Then we can go to forgiveness. And in forgiveness, you're not carrying it around so much. It just ain't holding you back. But again, it's not empowering you. And it's through going to that 3rd degree of brilliance, of acknowledging that inside of your mother and father, in their messed up 3D version, inside of all of us, is a angelic source. And then the angelic source is either masculine or feminine. The feminine one is the classic Virgin Mary, who is so beautiful and essentially like every guy wants her. That's how hot she is and how attractive and healthy she is. And she's so innocent, she'll just give it to anybody. That's the Virgin Mary, right? And we hope she doesn't give it to everybody, but the innocence, the love, the being able to see, to share and to see beauty and God's life in everything. And then is the masculine, which is God, our Father who art in heaven. It's the Father who guides you perfectly, who protects you perfectly, who teaches you all the things that you need to know at the perfect time. Both of these elements are your true mother and father. These are your inheritance. These are our inheritance. And it is what we could say the devil. We could say the ebbs and flows of enlightenment and golden age and darkness and perversion. And here we are. We're just at the end of the perversion and darkness, and 2012 Mayan calendar ended where that dip ends, and now we're coming back into the golden age. And that's why I'm able to share this with you. And if you're listening to this, as we know, we don't have billions of subscribers yet, so you guys are very special. That's why I'm able to share this with you. And so if you want to empower yourself, take time to breathe. Put yourself somewhere quiet. Get some earplugs if you can. Maybe a eye mask or a toque. Put it over yourself and go into a special room in your mind. Create a special room. I've talked about 5D. Maybe you invite them to your heavenly throne room and you say, Mother, you are so beautiful. I am so grateful that you gave me this body. You grew me in your womb. The pain to push me out. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And Father, and you have your own conversation. That's just a starter. And then Father, and you look over at your father and you say, Father, thank you. Thank you for giving me life. And I'm not a father. I'm a child still, I'm a son, but I've conceptualized being a father, and to be a father, naturally, you will give everything that's the best of you to your child, in seed, in spirit, in energy. So then, by virtue of that, if I give all of my best qualities to my child, then I am becoming a bit of an idiot. Like in the physical realm, I can no longer be the leader. I will be the leader as long as I can to lead my child, but he has the essence. My child has the essence. So I am taking a role of a observer, and maybe that's probably the best role as a father, is to observe the child, and only once the child has shown a misstep is to advise the child, hey, I wouldn't do that if I were you. There's a huge epidemic with parents that they don't want to let go of that. I'm the elder, I'm the father, I'm the mother, I know what's best. That child knows what's best because it's closest to heaven. Before we come here, we're in heaven and we're with God, and then we come here and we try to bring that God and heaven here to earth, and the parents and the programming and the physical world and the dip is all here so strong, and so we look at our Father and we say, Father, thank you for giving me all of your best qualities. And again, you will not be able to receive those qualities until you look at your Father and recognize them in Him, right? And they're all there. It's easier said than done. I can talk about it like this, and I've done it, and I do it every day, because this is the prescription for you. Look at your parents in a better light. Look at your parents in a better light. Keep amplifying the aura of gold and silver light and white light and all the colors of the rainbow. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue. Maybe they're a frickin' rainbow radiating out to you, and you're just feeling that energy. Whatever you need to use for your imagination, for your senses, color, sound. Maybe you imagine your mother as a singing angel and you're hearing her beautiful voices. Maybe you imagine your father as a strong bodybuilder that's to use the shapes. Maybe you imagine your mother as a giver. She has a gift for you. It's wrapped up. She gives it to you. You unwrap it. What is it? And that is the actual, the definition of a cult. The Freemasons, the Knights Templar, the Illuminati, this is all occult wisdom. And occult wisdom means only you can uncover it. Only you can discover it. And through the relationship to you being the only one that it's special to, it has its proper significance. And that's why the Christmas, we wrap gifts up and we put them under the tree, and and then we unwrap them. It's got way more bang to it than way more razzle dazzle to it than just here's your present and you can see it already. Oh, thanks. And then there's all this, maybe this stuff that happens with, do I have to give something back and blah, blah, blah. Maybe the process of it being wrapped and you unwrapping it allows the focus to really, really, really be there. And so again, guys, you have already been given all the memories and all the values and all the guidance to be your absolute best. 100% you have. And if you need a remembering, do some deep breaths. Be still and know that I am God. One of my favorite sayings. Be still and know that I am God. I remember when I was in the deepest woes of my life and I said that prayer for guidance, Eckhart Tolle, an audio CD came to me through my glorious brother Theodore. Thank you, Theodore. Eckhart Tolle talked about 3 gateways of the now. The gateway of the body, the gateway of silence, and the gateway of stillness. So, as I said, take some deep breaths, go into a quiet area. If you can cover your eyes and plug your ears, that will help you find silence. And then they say, listen to the silence in the room. And I kind of like imagine the walls, and then like right beside them. And the wall is kind of like very loud. It's holding the house up. But just outside the wall in the room is like nothing. Listen to that. And they say, the experts, it's actually like, it's inside of us, is where all this is going on. But they say the silence of the universe to us sounds like a boiling, a deep boiling. And the masters of this can tune into that boiling at a busy market. So that's the silence, the gateway of silence, the gateway of stillness, being still, no movement, just stay in one spot. That's probably why sleep is so valuable to us, because we're still for a long time. You can't get in any trouble when you're when you're still, and a big part of this reality is avoiding the booby traps. Yeah, that's exactly what I said. The booby traps, right? The missteps, the shooting ourselves in the foot. Half the time, don't shoot yourself in the foot. You're already growing in the best way possible. The other half of the time, we actually have to do things to grow. So that's the gateway of silence, the gateway of stillness, and then finally the gateway of the body. And the gateway of the body is often accessed through exercise. When we are burning our biceps as we're lifting those weights, we're in the body. But to be in the body in stillness and silence will allow you to hear what the body has to say to you. And no matter what it tells you, it's our duty through our connection to God is to take that message and receive it with love. For example, I'm in my stillness, silence, and I start to go into the body, and my leg starts hurting all of a sudden. Ow, ow! And then panic sets in. Oh, I've done something wrong. There's something wrong. And then I have to say, well, hold on. Maybe this is my cue to breathe and relax and share the beautiful, healthy things that I know about my leg. Or share these beautiful things with my leg. Push them into the leg. So I feel that pain, and then I think about being a rushing river. And I think about being the beautiful sky and the wonderful sun and the strong earth. And I communicate these things to that signal that my body's giving me. And I don't claim to know how all this stuff works, guys. In fact, I am the biggest idiot on earth, plain and simple. But I'm really, really good at getting out of the way, opening up the door and letting God speak through me. And so I know that whatever you needed to hear today, I prayed for it, and that's what it was. That's what you guys needed to hear today. And that's what I'm going through every day, seeing my parents in a better light, the sun and the earth, as we've talked about before, the air and the water and the ether, all of these things. If you can personify them in your 3D world and then into your 5D world, personify them. Put a face to them, give them a body, give them shapes, give them sounds, give them colors, and talk with them. Talk beautiful words to them. Compliment them, love them. Tell them all the beautiful things that they're doing. This is what some might call black magic. And I only call it black magic because when we close our eyes, it's kind of like a dark room. It's not black because it's bad. It's black because there's nothing distinguished yet. And the magic that we bring into it is the creation and the architecture of our imagination. And that's in the mind, and the longest journey is from your head to your heart. That's when it touches you here in the 3D world. And your ability to unlock your manifestation power. Wa-boom! There it is. Whatever you want on demand. that ability is directly linked to the heart. The mind is the input coordinates, and the heart is the authorization. And I think I've talked about this with you guys before. The heart is a 7-layered muscle. Each chamber fires, but it doesn't just squeeze like it spins. Those 7 layers, if you're feeling health, happiness, bliss, appreciation, gratitude, those 7 layers fire in a toroidal shape and squeeze right through the ventricle. Boom, it spins super fast, your DNA, and the DNA is in the blood, and that super fast spin imprints a particular gravitational authorization code. But if you're feeling depressed, you're feeling if there's demons around, if there's shame, guilt, all that stuff, that you might see it towards your mother and father, that's why we got to get rid of it, then it's not such a beautiful tornado that is formed with the heart, but more of a, and then there's no strong gravitational input into our DNA. And you're thinking about that blood going through that little heart, and really that's creating this massive field around us. But as science has shown, one DNA strand spinning a particular way doesn't do too much. 1, 2, 3, 4 billions and trillions of these individuals spinning a particular way causes this massive, and this is what is called our Merkaba, vehicle of light, from the old Vedic terms. And well, man, around this time that I asked for guidance, I asked God, I said, okay, you're giving me all this guidance, please tell me how to drive my Merkaba. And vehicle of light, it's a vehicle that can travel through dimensions. And what does that mean? Well, it can mean a whole lot of things, but in one regards, if I'm in a negative mind frame, I'm looking at everything, that shouldn't be like that, screw that, then I travel to, that's one dimension, then I travel to a dimension where I'm like, awesome, I love that, all the same stuff, but I can see the benefits, I'm at least willing to work towards the benefits of it and turn it into a positive. That's another dimension. Dimension is a measurement or a threshold of measurement. So a vehicle of light, Merkaba, that travels, this is our light body. It's a sphere around us, and that input through our mind and our heart is what allows us to travel through dimensions. And gosh, guys, I tell you, I feel like my Merkaba, the engine, is just yes, thank you. And I pray so much that each one of you find your health and happiness and abundance inside of you and in the environment around you, so that you can share it and make your beautiful environment and your beautiful self bigger and stronger to continue to transform this environment. If any of you would like one-on-one sessions, this is what I do, guys. Absolutely free of charge. But your charge is going to be the work that comes with these powers. Here's the catch, guys. Here's the catch. It's like, well, all of this, all I've got to do is all of that stuff that Wegedesk just talked about, and I can do all this stuff, like instantly manifest, or at least get a lot closer to it, and maybe in 10 years of doing this stuff perfectly, I can instantly manifest? Yes. I guarantee that. But here is the catch. This is the hard part, is once you are empowered, then the gods bring you new equations to solve, new problems to solve, new issues to resolve. For me, they're bringing me into the courts and telling Supreme Court judges that and telling my community about the Supreme Court judges, that they're protecting pedophiles for a multi-billion-dollar insurance company that's the physical embodiment of one of the largest demons in our realm. And I have spent over $400,000 of my own money doing it with no guarantee that I'm going to get anything back. And in fact, the courts are trying to take more money out of me so that I pay the costs of the criminal lawyers who have fucking, yeah, right. The stuff that you will have to do as you become stronger is, I almost want to say it's not right. And it isn't right that you have to do it. But that's why you have to do it, to make it right. It's like that idea that I shared with you guys when I was in Mexico about the horizon. You know, like the end of land, where the land meets the sky far, far, far in front of us. That's where we're going. Where we want to make progress, as much progress as we can, but the closer you get to the horizon, the further away the horizon gets. And so what is this good for? Well, it's good for walking. It's good for that process. It is so worth it, because it's way better to be aware than not aware. And so don't shy away from the work. I'm using these terms of security features, and each human body will say is like a house, and these ideas can come and flow through it, and the ideas can either grab the house and change the house, which is our thoughts and actions, or they cannot. Those ideas will just come and then be kept out of the house. And it's the security features that allow these ideas to grab, or to prevent. And so when you do this good work with yourself, the meditating, the gateways, the mother and father, the son, and all this internal work, then you're going to go out into the world, and the calls are going to come to you. And the sound, the call that they make to you will likely make you say, I don't want to, no, that's, oh, no. But if you can, again, like that pain in the leg, that then you say, oh, I'm just going to communicate with this pain, instead of say, oh, it's bad, it's negative, what's going on? Ask for guidance, man. Like I'm just a guy that looks like Jesus. The real Jesus Christ is in you. 100%. Absolutely 100%. So, yeah, I mean, I could keep yapping, but I've got my beautiful day to live. And I just wanted to get this transmission to you guys. Like I say, feel free to contact me. You guys know what it is, wegadesk.com, wegadesk@gmail.com, on the phone, through video, and in person if you want. But I'm telling you, I am not allowing anybody into my world that isn't A, willing to carry some heavy loads, and B, bringing benefits to the table. Online, sure, that's easy for me. I don't mind throwing you a bone. And I call it throwing you a bone because anytime you want to contact me, sit down and meditate and you'll figure it out. Plain and simple. And for those who are ready, when you're ready to come and sit in ceremony with me, we will get down to the deepest levels of the trauma, of the story that we are writing every day as the chosen ones on earth. I love you guys. You are who you are, and you are who you choose to be. So please choose to be your best. Choose to heal. Choose to answer the call that you originally turned away from. I'll tell you a very quick story. I was living down by the ocean at one point in my life, and as I was just approaching the ocean, I'm walking on a path, and the path goes left and it goes right, and to the left I see a homeless guy, and he's not homeless. His home is on wheels, on some type of a wheelbarrow, and it looks like a bomb went off and everything exploded. It was everywhere. He looks disheveled, and so I'm like, first, that's the call. But in my mind, I say, fuck, there they are, like garbage everywhere. And I mean, the ocean is beautiful, and fuck. So I just kind of try to keep walking. And he goes, hey, aren't you so-and-so? And so I look over to him, and I made the choice. I said, okay, this is the call, no doubt. And I said, hey, and I walked over to him. And I'm not joking, guys. It was an amazing I enjoyed it so much. I was there with him for at least an hour and a half, probably closer to 2, might have even been more than that, hours. But just talking, and just it all happens so naturally. It's all way easier than that initial perception of the call sounds. It sounds like, dealing with a fucking idiot homeless dude. This guy actually had the most horrendous thing happen to him, and it just fucking broke his mind. I'm not even going to tell you what it was, because it touches these deep, deep, deep values inside of us. And you know what? What comes to mind as the real gem of what I was to remind him of? The hero's journey. Because like I say, this thing that happened to him broke his mind, broke his faith, made him think there's no way God exists if that type of thing happens in this world. And then it's like, but hold on, the hero's journey. Isn't the hero greater given the adversity that the hero overcomes? Isn't that powerful? So thank you, God. Thank you, Jesus Christ. Thank you, Buddha. Thank you, Allah. Thank you, Wegadesk. Thank you, listeners. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And when you say thank you and you put your name there, your specific name, all of your names, I think there's a real special, it's like a key code. When I say Wegadesk, there's very, very special angels come right to me, and they're like, yeah. And I'm like, thank you, Wegadesk. And they're like, thank you, Wegadesk. Like there's just something special about it. So that's enough for now. Keep the deep breaths going, and remember, it's all inside you. You don't need any of this. I just like to share, I'm a chatty Cathy. Love you guys. Peace.